Hello and welcome. My name is Rich. Today is yet more Let's Play Champions Online, a superhero MMO based on the Champions pen and paper RPG, which I have not played, but is popular enough to have 6 editions, I think, now. So clearly there are merits to it, as indeed I believe there are merits to this game, hence why I'm playing it in the first place. What's next? Well, the character I'm playing as is technical issues. Given that this series of streams, I mean, we're on 2.5 months since I started, I think. This is no longer my first stream. This is my first series of streams. And as a result, I knew that I would be experiencing some technical issues, and I realized that technical issues would be a fun name to give the character I was playing as. Now, the reason that she's dressed like this, rather than as a more recognizably superhero style, is because she's come back in time to try and avert the apocalypse. And it struck me as this is an appropriate costume for someone who's come back in time to avert the apocalypse. Ordinarily, she might be dressed like this. This was the first costume I gave her. There is also a more heavily armored version and a maximum armor. Oh, I can't change my character costume just yet. Okay, that's fine. And a maximum armor costume, as much as I could manage. But she has, as I said, just come back in time to avert the apocalypse, and so post-apocalyptic outfit it is. We're in Vibora Bay. Oh, thank you. Welcome also, Raven Force. I was just going over... I'm trying to come up with a new spiel to start my stream with. And I've wandered a little bit, I suppose. I maybe should come up with a script before I start, rather than just hoping to wing it when I sit down. But so, of the things I have left to do, Echoes of Andrith is on Monster Island. One if by land. What's this? Speak with Alicia Blackman. Ah yes, that leads into one of the adventure packs, which we'll be doing later. I might as well do this. Trail of the Werebeast. I'm not sure that I could insert fanfare. I don't have a streaming deck. I wasn't sure when I started that I would be continuing. I suppose I might get a streaming deck so that I can, you know, add sound effects and like more of a graphical interface over this later, when if I manage to get more followers and achieve the lofty heights of Twitch affiliate. But I suspect that will be a while off yet, if it happens at all. Anyway, I mean, it will probably happen eventually if I am persistent enough. And I can be very persistent. But right now, I'm just following This is supposed to be the footsteps of Bloodhound, isn't it? The being that we fought here in Preternatural Pot Puree, who is a combination of werewolf and vampire, who we managed to drive off. We didn't defeat him, he ran away because he's a coward. Here we are. But they aren't actually footprints, are they? They're splats of something. And they're not terribly far apart. In fact, I suspect that my character's gait is of a similar width if she's not flying. Perhaps larger. But this is definitely smaller than I would think Bloodhound's gait would be. Sweaty uwu patches, yes, perhaps. Talk to Bob. It was huge and furry. Its face looked kind of wolf-like, but its arms had some sort of wings attached. Really weird and scary. Oh, hello. Some dogs have turned up. And we are stealing their squeaky toys, because apparently gang members who are werewolves are absolute suckers for dog toys. Although, apparently... Whoops, what the hell? Oh, I just picked up dead shoreman, didn't I? We've already done that. No, I don't want to do it again. So where's the next place? Through here. Okay. Wow, I'm surprised it just completely missed this section out and moved on up to here. I only just managed to catch them up here. Otherwise I would have been quite lost. We started here and went along here and up and then along and then up. This guy's really wandering around, isn't he? Yeah, I saw that bat thing. It ran into the courtyard and I heard a lot of yelling and fighting. Please tell me you are going to stop that thing. I think I heard people calling for help back there. Is this... Has it led us to the courtyard where we defeat it? As part of Preternatural Pot Puree. Is that how the story is supposed to go? We follow it. Defeat it, make it run away. Or him, I suppose. And then pursue him. I'm attracting a lot of attention, aren't I? How do you guys feel about storms? I have a lot of electricity available for you. Connoisseur. Wow, they can't help themselves. You would think that werewolves really wouldn't like thunder and lightning at all, would you? All things considered. I mean, it must give their fur awful static. I'm picking up lots of squeaky toys. How does that keep happening? It's not the shotgun blasts, is it? I don't think shotgun blasts... did that much. I have managed to acquire enough squeaky toys out of this though, which is good. Oh well, no, oh, it's grenades. Must be extremely disheartening for them to blast away at my character with shotguns, machine guns, pistols, grenades, and she is completely unhurt. So they're not actually like ordinary dog squeaky toys. They're squeaky toys made out of super plastics. That were stolen. Juryrig, who's the guy who gave us the mission, told us that a shipment of his super plastics was stolen. And that's how their squeaky toys are capable of surviving the attentions of a werewolf. I know that there's an obelisk here, but I wouldn't be able to open it because my crafting skill's not high enough. Crafting skills not being something that I've kept up with because there's no story involved in it. And yes, I suppose, yes, I should have mentioned a large part of the purpose of the stream is, and we'll be going over to this guy here who's cowering in place. Oh, there's a traffic jam. I wonder why. This car's just decided to stop still. Can I damage the car? No. Okay. Come on. Get out of the way. Oh, I can't land on the car either. I didn't see much, but I'll never forget its eyes. They glowed with this spooky red light. The creature also had these blood-red markings on its skin. I never want to see anything like that again. You're probably living in the wrong city for that, though. Oh, hello. There's a cur. Yes, part of the reason I'm streaming is to look at the stories that the game is telling. I need to find a way to work that into my opening spiel. Cars in CO General are weird. Yes, they are. Do you know what causes them to... Well, it's not so bad here because there aren't so many of them around, but do you know what causes them to traffic jam up? It's much worse in Millennium City, where you can get them overlaying one another. Oh, hello. Talk to Christine. And then the tracks that we're following, I don't know that they're footprints. Go up here. This horrid creature came racing around the corner and knocked me flat on my rear. I was too terrified to move, but then the thing offered me its hand and helped me back up. I think it was... I think it even apologized for knocking me down. When it got closer to me, I could see a hunger in its eyes, and I was afraid it was going to bite me. It started to lean in close, but then it heard something and ran off. Please get this thing off the streets of Vibora Bay. Oh, hello. Because they're scripted AI, and I don't think they have ever been updated since launch. So as game has changed, they kind of balked over time. It was very bad in desert. It used to have more desert animals. Huh, really? What did that used to look like? So I thought we were probably going up here. So we have come in here, presumably done the story part of Preternatural Puree, defeated him, and then followed him all the way around here. And I think we're probably almost at the end. Yes, here we are. We saw it during the apocalypse, but there wasn't anyone here to interact with. Because there were not meteorites falling, but unfinished, incomplete Nephilim falling from the sky in the form of very bright, shiny meteorites. Ah, excellent work, my friend. You have found the home of the beast known as Bloodhound. This is Dr. Carr speaking from the astral plane. Caliburn is here with me. He says we need to know more. Do you dare enter the belly of the beast and investigate? Yes. Desert used of animals, they just got weird. They'd appear beside you and run off, and it somehow caused lag. Kind of sad that there aren't any major lore arcs to count towards perks within Vibora Bay. Yeah. It's interesting how some of the things that supervillains summon are stick around after they are defeated, and some things that they summon don't. So yeah, you can clearly see that this is a hidden entrance. Although there is what looks like a code and an eye scanner? Code pad and eye scanner just casually installed on the wall there, not even hidden at all. And then this door. I wonder why the entrance was left open. I mean, yes, for the convenience of players coming along. I think that's part of the old Viper base. Yes, I remember that Viper will run out of VB. And this does look like a military base, which is what Viper bases basically look like. I wonder if we're going to... Oh, hello. There aren't any voice lines that I can hear. And... Okay, so I will read that text aloud. The speech bubbles weren't up for long, were they? Dr. Zephyrin, I'm going to merge the bloodlines, and there is nothing anyone can do to stop me. I'm hungry, like the wolf. Haha. Bloodgorger. The new shadows will get you, Dr. Zephyrin. And your little dogs, too. It's difficult to feel bad for them when they're giving classic villain lines like that. And he just repeats himself. I'm going to merge the bloodlines, and there is nothing anyone can do to stop me. Why are you dogs doing this to us? So presumably this happened in the previous timeline. Because what we're actually doing in time travel terms is creating a new timeline by changing pieces of the past so that the bad future doesn't come to pass. Ah, right. It opens the cages. Okay. Now, these big old bloodgorgers will occasionally... I wonder what I should do with you. I will fight by your side, hero. Sometimes... I don't know what the odds are, but they'll decide whether or not to attack you, and you can have it so that several of them fight alongside you together. You've unlocked my cage. What do I should do? I'm going to kill you, hero. Okay. That's not going to go how you think it will. Sorry to disappoint you. Right, yes, and as we were coming through that door, that first doorway, I was wondering to myself whether we'd encounter any more instances of rooms with objects in them that couldn't fit through the doors, or of rooms with doorways that couldn't possibly lead to anything on the other side because there's corridors beyond. So, at the moment, it looks like these roll doors actually could lead outside. Or, well, probably not directly outside, but to concealed entrances, like Batman. It's really weird to see them cowering in the cells. Ah yes, that's the other option. There's three options. One is that they attack, one is that they leave, and one is that they help you. I don't know how long they stick around for. They're strong enough that they don't get taken out by the foes that we face. What are you going to do? Are you going to attack me? Yes, you are. Okay. And my Bloodgorger ally. I actually decided to create a character based on this when I was playing through this section with a different character. So that character was a magic user who used lots and lots of curses so that they would apply lots of debuffs and dots. And they were called Witch, spelled with a Y, because I'm dead good at names, me. And the character I created was supposed to be one of the vampires that decided to befriend me. And I called him Mr. Bitey. And I gave him... I got as close as I could manage with the character builder to the appearance, but I gave him a new change of clothes, including a waistcoat and a top hat. I don't know that I still have the character though. I think I decided to delete him. I could give it recreating him another go. Oh, he's just gonna leave. All right. And the other one is stuck. Ah, maybe that's what happens to them. They get stuck on geometry and can no longer follow you. Come on. What's he doing? Oh, there we go. Do you know whether you can end up with a crew of them following you around? Or are they on a timer or something? You can do. I think they just have to die. Alright. Well, they self-heal and they're extremely tough. Well, and also they're benefiting from my Sentinel aura, so I think it would be rather a surprise if this one managed to die. For all that I don't actually have any direct healing powers. However, with the improvements to Blood Gorges, that may be harder. Well, so far we've only managed to collect one helpful Blood Gorger. There are no more instances of vehicle roll doors leading to corridors, which is nice to see. It's amusing to me that they really genuinely are cowering inside there, and then once the doors open, they're all macho again. I'll fight by your side, hero. Thank you. I mean, I know that I've said that I don't particularly like vampires, but these guys are feasting on dogs, so I don't really care. What are you going to do? Oh, attack me. I can't say that it's going to go very well for you. I mean, are these guys not watching out through their cages and seeing what happens? Like, are you gonna have watched what happens here? Why have they got nukes? Jesus Christ. That's not something you should allow street gangs access to. Why? Oh, right, yeah, okay. I was going to ask, why did Viper leave them behind, but they were forced out, I think. Yeah. You know what's a really good idea to use around nuclear warheads? Huge quantities of lightning. Yeah, I can't see this going poorly. Is he just going to stay there? It's probably alright. I mean, I'm capable... My character is clearly capable of generating huge quantities of lightning. And even ball lightning, which is not... I don't think is a phenomena we've ever actually really witnessed or recorded. It's just there are stories about ball lightning. So my character is clearly a master of lightning, which presumably includes stopping it from hitting things that it shouldn't. I mean, for one thing, all this lightning here is not damaging either of my Bloodgorger allies at all. I'm clearly capable of controlling its where it earths itself, which is good. So we're probably all right. It's probably fine. Ooh, there's a berserker. He's going down way more quickly. Well, I say way more quickly than the Bloodgorgers, but on the other hand, I do have 2 Bloodgorgers helping me out. Led by mob boss Sky Sweetland, very little is outside of their reach. Recently, they've also gained a great deal of power by becoming lycanthropes, werewolves. We're going to get a 3rd vampire buddy. Or is he going to leave? No, he's going to attack. Futilely. Okay, so let that be a lesson to you. I mean, he hasn't been watching. Maybe he saw. How did they... Well, yes, I suppose you probably could manage to get a pair of flak cannons in through a door like that. But it's not like the game isn't aware of the absurdity of managing to get huge objects in through doors that can't fit them. I mean, I think I showed a couple of weeks ago now in the basement. It's not super base. What is it called? Hideout. One of the decorative items you can have. Okay, he's running away. That's the smart option. If you don't want to join me, that's the smart option, to run away. You can put one of these in your basement shit, what's it called again? Hideout? Yeah, that's the word. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Anyway. You can put one of these in, and its name in the list of things that you can put in your hideout is how did that get in here? This is a series of... Oh no, they're searchlights, but they're attached to generators. That's what this is. And this is a searchlight. Could you get out of the way, please? So, they've got this stuff available right here. You could unplug the searchlight and plug in a space heater. You don't actually need a fire. Now, you were facing the right way to watch what just happened. Are you going to think that you could manage against me and 2 Bloodgorgers, where someone identical to you couldn't? No. What amazing survival instincts you've got. There is also this massive generator here. They're not short of electrical options for heating this space. Why would they have an absolutely busted old cathode ray tube TV? It's not even plugged into anything. Do they just sit on the couch and look at it? Massive pile of bones. Not cleaned up at all. Hi chaps, what's cooking? It's a rhetorical question. It's you. Oh, hello. Intruders, how dare they stop my experiments? Quite easily, really. How to combine it with vampire. Now I possess... Yeah, it's nice of the game's camera to move such that you can't actually see the dialogue anymore. And there's lots and lots and lots of people asking why the Blood Gorgers asking why the dogs are doing this to them. He was repeating that line over and over again, such that it's filled up the text. Dr. Zephyrin. Intruders, how dare they stop my experiments? I will become even greater than my creation, Bloodhound. I don't know why you've capitalised the B there. First, werewolf. Now to combine it with vampire, with the vampire. So he's just got lab beakers with solutions that contain one of werewolf and one of vampire. He pours one into the other and then, what, drinks it? Apparently, now I possess both bloodlines. Soon I will be unstoppable. And they're just repeating these lines over and over. Filling up the NPC chat log. Declarations that they're invincible. I wonder if there's a maximum number of these that we can have. Blood Gorgers, I mean, so that now that I've got two, their responses will always be either to leave or... Oops. Damn. Pulled him. Didn't mean to. Did you leave me alone? For like 3 seconds. You've made me bleed. Huh. They're doing him in quite badly, aren't they? I realise I'm probably just making this more difficult. Oh, he's left. He's decided to beat me up. Okay. What's he going to do? He's going to leave. Okay. Oh, we've beaten Dr. Zephyrin. I only lightly electrocuted him, and my two friendly Blood Gorgers finished him off. And became enormous as well. We've pulled everyone else in the space. What are you two going to do? Attack me. Can't say that that was a very good idea. What are you going to do? Leave. Okay. Still one left to free. And mission's complete. Okay. We're not going to destroy any of his research. I mean, I suppose we took him down, although he hasn't collapsed into ash, which is interesting. Like, other vampires do. This big cage, isn't it? Oh well. Well, that's it for this mission. Oh, there's a door in the last room. That's convenient. Why didn't I enter through this door? Since I can obviously leave by it. That would have been much easier. Well, they would have allowed me to defeat Dr. Zephyrin first. I would still have actually needed to go through all of this to release all of the Blood Gorgers, but and that's the end of my team up with the Blood Gorgers. I wonder why it was telling me that I had an alert there. Oh well. Nice job. You would think that having a large gang of werewolves at your beck and call would be sufficient muscle for most crime lords, but I guess there's no satisfying Sweetland. Of serums and secrets. Guy Sweetland didn't get to where he is today by being stupid. Although you shut down Dr. Zephyrin's lab, I've learned that he kept a small amount of the serum tucked away safely at another location, and he intends to move it by courier. What my astral spies are unable to determine is where the serum is being moved to or why. Well, it can't be the most recent version of the serum because we will have destroyed that when we took out Dr. Zephyrin. I need you to pick up the courier's tail and find the delivery location. Once you've determined that, slip inside, find out what the plans are for the serum, and destroy any samples you find. We can't allow Sweetland to continue to create monstrosities like the Bloodhound. Be sure to stay close to the courier, or you won't be able to slip inside before the door locks again. All indications are that the drop will take place in one of the buildings in the block just to the east of the High Apostolic Church. If it seems like the courier is onto you, you can always try getting the information from one of the dog's leaders, an Ulfhednar, yeah. Smoking a pack a day is a repeatable mission, so I'm not going to bother. And the last mission there feels like, based on the text from the mission info, like it's supposed to be happening later on in the story progress. Hoggle's still missing. Does the game have a matched day-night cycle to us? Or to a time zone somewhere on Earth? Maybe not the UK, but maybe the US somewhere? I mean, it might be the case that I'm just never going to be playing the game on stream at a time when Hoggle is here. Not sure, it seems very fast. Phoebe is always in vague night mode. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, vampires are always out and about somewhere in Vibora Bay. And happy crab. I don't imagine that many crabs in the restaurant where they eat crab are terribly happy. Ooh, their claws move. So let's see what we have here. Technical issues. Near as I can tell, this is a powerful toxin created from a pufferfish gland called tetrodotoxin. Yes, I thought it would probably be pufferfish toxin. Now, I don't know much about it, but I think it has... I know someone who does. Go ask Papa Perrault about this stuff. He'll be able to tell you more. Right. Now, this guy will give me the mission to dick about in a warehouse grabbing ingredients, won't he? I think I did manage to do that once when I was actually paying attention. He's right on the edge of the map, isn't he? He's still there. So did he. But Hoggle? The one who gives the mission to do the maze run isn't. Which is a bit weird to me. But oh well. Oh hey, someone else with lightning powers. Elder King Melkor. Red lightning, in fact. I wonder if he's supposed to be a Sith. I mean, he's not. It has always been assumed that on the 7th day of creation, God rested. In truth, day 7 was the day of balance. A concept was created and developed into 5 very different parts. Okay, so he's talking about... Yeah, okay. Seems like maybe that was a character created for the Edgelord costume competition, and he's continuing to play as his Edgelord character. Hello there. Hello, hero. You come to me looking to learn more about Vibora Bay and all the magic here. Maybe you got questions about the evil voodoo priests plaguing this here city, eh? That's good. I got some things for you to help me with. They'll school you real fast. Okay. This here is tetrodotoxin, technical issues. This toxin given to the living to paralyze them and make them into the living dead. They become docile and susceptible to suggestion, not to mention to the voodoo magics. Unscrupulous practitioners of voodoo, like the Sovereign Sons, use this toxin to help amass an army of mindless servants. What info do we have on him? A kindly man who runs a voodoo shop in Vibora Bay. He makes his living selling authentic voodoo dolls and other schlock to tourists. To the knowledgeable members of the mystic world, he's known as a powerful voodoo Hogan. Hongan? Who often advises heroes on voodoo matters. Cool. Hey, technical issues. You know this city got a problem with the zombies thanks to them Sovereign Sons, yeah? I know a drug lab where they make the zombie dust from the pufferfish. They plan to make an army of drugged out zombies, and that's no good. I can tell you where the lab is so you can destroy their operation. It's not far from here. Just a couple buildings down. They're really stinking up the place. I didn't actually need to fly around there, did I? I thought it was over here for some reason. Oh well. Let's enter the drug lab. Yeah, thinking about that guy again, this game's not so great for people who want to try and play villains or anti-heroes. You don't, I mean, as we've discussed before, you don't really get much of a choice in... Is that a... No, it's not a tortoise, it's a badly made, or crudely made, human doll. Anyway, you don't get a huge amount of choice in how to interact with the story in this game, and all the choice. Well, as far as I can recall, the only choice that you get is during the Vabora Bay Apocalypse, where you can choose whether to help the vampires or the werewolves. Yeah, you kind of have to twist the mission's story to make it suit a villain. Yeah. Which is unusual in the superhero MMO business, because in both the other superhero MMOs, you can be either a hero or a villain. In DCUO, you can be... you've got 6 mentors to pick from, 3 of which are Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and 3 of which are Lex Luthor, the Joker, or Circe, who is a major Wonder Woman villain. Not that you'd know, because Wonder Woman doesn't get as much page or screen time as Batman and Superman, unfortunately. And in Champions Online, you could play as either a hero or a villain, or there was even more choice in the alternate universe, Pretoria, where you could be either a... Yeah, you kind of have to twist the mission's story to make it suit a villain. Kind of like, oh, I am only helping take out Purple Gang so my gang can grow. Yeah. You have to really headcanon a lot in this game to make it fit. But in City of Heroes, I think really got the most flexibility, where in Pretoria you could decide you could be so in Pretoria, an alternate universe, a lot like Multifaria in this game actually, although we haven't seen Multifaria. One of the major heroes of the normal City of Heroes world, Statesman, is actually a major supervillain who's taken over all of America and is running it like an empire. So he's an emperor. He's first Emperor Cole. And there you can either be a member of the resistance against the empire, or you can work for the empire. And when you're in both of those roles, tyrant, he's a tyrant, but doesn't it also refer to it as an empire? Isn't he also Emperor Cole? Anyway, in either of those roles, you can choose whether to be a hardline or a softer, more libertarian, like helpful person. So you can serve the empire or the dictatorship, but soften the awfulness as much as you can, or you can be absolutely awful. And likewise, as the resistance member, you can either save people or destroy things. I haven't played a huge amount of the story of that universe, though, so I mean, I'm not really an expert by any means. Nor have I really played very much of the story of the main game, to be honest. I'm too much of an alcoholic, and there's too much game there, really, to experience the whole lot of without taking an enormous amount of time at the kind of pace that I was going. I never managed to get a character up to max level in City of Heroes. the name? Citizen Call. Never had a chance to play a lot of Praetorian Arc. Yeah, it's easier to play now in the fan run versions, and you can also change faction at a higher level in the ordinary version of the game as well. So if you're playing a villain and you decide that you want to switch sides, you can do. Or if you're playing a hero and you're playing them as an anti-hero and a kind of a knobhead, you can definitely go and switch sides so that you're actually a full villain. In the main, so I've only ever played the new, like on the fan server Homecoming. I know that there are a couple of others, and they do things slightly differently. One of them keeps running its version of the game. Basically, they haven't made any changes whatsoever to the last version of City of Heroes. So it's basically a time capsule. One of them, Homecoming, adds new bits of story. Another one that I can't remember the name of has even more character customization. Like they've recently altered the maximum and minimum size of character that you can create, so that you can create a character that's, you know, this tall, like 2 foot tall or less. And on Homecoming, there's at least, maybe it was available in live, I don't know, but in Homecoming, there's a way for you to create a new character and immediately switch sides if you know where to go and who to talk to. Why does that stupid dragon pet keep getting stuck in doorways? Oh well. So in this game, there's no distinction between... the story makes no distinction about where your character's powers come from. You can wear power armor and use exclusively magic powers, and the game won't make any mention of it whatsoever. In City of Heroes, you can choose an origin for your powers, be it natural, mutation, science experiment, technology, or magic. And whichever origin you choose gives you one unique attack. So the natural one is a throwing knife. The magic one is like a small charm that you throw out, and each one basically does a very small amount of damage and applies a certain debuff. So like in the case of the throwing knife, it applies a bleed. They're useful when you start out, but they don't scale with your character's abilities. So by the time you're level 10, 12, 14, you've basically outgrown them, because you've gotten enough powers from your power sets that they're not useful anymore. Hey hero, I tagged along in astral form. The Sovereign Sons can't see me. Tricky, eh? I wanted to see what's going on in this lab, and it looks like there's some useful stuff here. We can use it to make a cure for them zombies. I need you to be my hands for a couple of minutes. My astral form ain't so good at moving things around. The Sovereign Sons think they can do anything they want, but you showed them, eh? Good work, technical issues. And the lower looking down on you and smiling. Okay. in City of Heroes, your origin also affects the advantages that you can slot into your powers. Basically, in City of Heroes, there's no gear system. You don't have gear that you put on your character like this, and there aren't mods you can slot in. As a result, there aren't any mods you can slot in to improve your stats and so on. So instead, the way that it works is your powers have mod slots, and you can slot different things into your powers, and the names and icon appearances of your mods in City of Heroes are affected by your origin. So if you're a tech origin, you can't slot magic mods into your powers, which I suppose makes a certain amount of sense. There's no ability for you to... Oh no, hold on. There are mixed origin mods as well of pairs. So you could headcanon yourself as being a power armor wearer, like a tech power armor wearer, but some of your attacks are magical in origin, and the mods that you can slot would reflect that. If you care about... Because no other part of the mods is affected, it's just the name and the icon, so the effect of the mod is universal. There's no change. So nobody ever actually sees what mods you've got slotted unless you share that information. So I suppose it could just be something that you know for your own edification and satisfaction. And in DCUO, your origin absolutely matters, because it gives you... It doesn't change what powers you're allowed to choose, so you can be... you can choose Batman as your mentor, indicating that your powers are from technology or training, and still pick sorcery or... Well, any of them, really. Or almost any of them. Fire, ice, earth, whatever. Celestial, even. And the game will still assume that your powers come from either training or technology. But your choice of mentor does come up. They'll usually be the person that talks to you of the three, of the main of DC's big three, and you also fight alongside them in a series of missions. So if your mentor is Batman, you'll fight alongside him against Joker, and so on. So I assume if you're playing as a villain and you pick Joker as a mentor, not that I would ever imagine Joker willingly mentoring another villain. That doesn't seem in character for him whatsoever. Anyway, if you pick him, presumably, I mean, I've never played villains. I don't like playing evil characters. It makes me feel bad. Presumably, if you're playing a villain and you pick Joker, on the equivalent missions, you fight against Batman. They had training, dual origin, single origin, invention origin, and Hamadon origin. Yeah, I never really got too far into the weeds of mods. Evil characters are too evil for me. Yeah, I never got too far into the weeds of the mod system in City of Heroes. Generally speaking, in games, yes, I prefer to play good characters, because whilst I'm immersed in the game, I'm behaving as though the people I'm talking to are real. I mean, not fully. You can't fully interact in precisely the way that you want to. Certainly in this game, and not in a lot of other games as well, but even in games that give you a certain amount of choice, like a choice wheel of options, of responses, you can never get quite perfectly close to how I would prefer to react to certain things. But some allow you to get closer than others, and whenever I'm given a choice, I prefer to behave as though the people that I'm talking to in the game are real people, and I don't like hurting people. So I pick the good options. Does depend. I think being evil to an extent is fine, but yeah, I much prefer heroes. And also, like in games where choice is available, the evil choice is usually astonishingly evil. Like it doesn't usually allow for much moral flexibility and greyness between extremes. You're either one or the other, and if I have to pick one of the extremes, I prefer to pick good because it does less harm. There are ingredients lying around this place we can use to make an antidote to the Sovereign Sun's zombie-making drugs. I tell you what to find, you go get it and put it into this cauldron, and then look at me and I'll tell you the next thing to get. You got to do it fast though, because the antidote go bad fast. If you take too long, we got to start over. The ingredients I'll be asking for are voodoo doll hair, blessed wine, dried herbs, grave water, coffin nails, painted clay chips, bird feathers, snake scales, and bone fragments. Hair of a voodoo doll. There was a voodoo doll. No. Here. No, that's not a voodoo doll. Jesus Christ. There we go. Got the hair. Put it in. Coffin nails. That's a very small coffin, isn't it? That's a child's coffin. Bird feathers. Are these bird feathers or are they herbs? That's snake scales. Bird feathers. It's a dead bird on its back. Looking very stiff, like a stuffed bird. Scales from a snake. Don't want to pick up the crate, I want to take scales. There we go. Coffin nails, more coffin nails for some reason. Taken again from this very thin child's coffin. It's quite grim, isn't it? Dried herbs, that's these things. Fragments of human bone. Ah, here we are. Bone fragments. Don't want to pick up the water. He hasn't asked for any grave water yet. Bird feathers. Luckily, they appear to be an infinite resource, so I don't have to find any new. What's that? Oh, that's wine, isn't it? Don't have to find any new sources for what he's asking each time. That would be kind of a pain. Nearly there. Fragments of human bone. I think it's random, so it won't be the same each time. So anyone trying to use this as a source will have to pay attention to their own version of Papa Peralt, but you probably can use the locations that I've got here. Okay, managed to complete it. Good work, hero. Your feet must be burning from all that running around. Not so much, I was actually floating. Maybe you couldn't see through the astral projection you've got there. Rarely touch the ground, actually. You can leave the antidote on the table and I'll apport it to myself out in the city, or you can take it with you. See you soon. What's apporting? Oh well, whatever. Coffin break. So I've been neglecting chat a little bit there because I was trying to pay attention to what he was telling me. I almost ran out of time, actually. I think I had 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and I was down to about 30 seconds at the end. True, there's some choice in adventure packs and cosmic series in CO. In DCUO, it's just a faction of people who oppose the JLA. It's not much in the way of evil, really. Most notably Serpent Lantern. While I might accept robbing a bank, I couldn't doom in a dimension to Trigon. No, Trigon's pretty awful. Yeah, stealing and fighting the JLA is about as evil as you get in DCUO. From what I remember, it's been years. Maybe it's a coffin-shaped box filled with used nails? I mean, we could only hope that the tiny coffin that we've found here is like a storage box for coffin nails and isn't genuinely a coffin for someone that size. I think he asks for random stuff. Some ingredients won't get used each time. Yeah, when I did this last time, he asked for grave water like 3 times. I think apport is kind of like teleport. Yeah, I suppose apport is adjacent to apparition from Harry Potter, which is basically personal teleportation. It's obviously supposed to be some kind of magical transportation, but it's not a word that I was familiar with. I didn't know that you got more choice in adventure packs or in the cosmic series. I've never done a cosmic series, as far as I can remember. And I've done Serpent Lantern and Demon Flame and Resistance and Whiteout for adventure packs. I don't know if there are any more of them, but each of them on different characters, I think, and none of them for a while, so I don't remember. Gonna pop off, having buffering issues. See you around. Oh, no worries, Captain Patriot. I'm just glad you were here. The VOD will eventually be available on YouTube if you feel like coming by and watching the rest. And I will of course be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if you feel like coming back on Friday, that'd be good to see you. It's not a story fork, but alternate ways to finish an objective. Oh, okay. I mean, that's still a certain amount of choice, which is nice. But yeah, I think I only created one villain character in DCUO, and it was a magic villain. I think they're actually the Injustice Society or something like that. They're not as loose a collection of villains as you might be describing. They've got a villain equivalent of the Watchtower, which is like a big domed installation in a swamp in Louisiana that's hidden by being out of phase. So when you look out of a window, there's kind of a purpley orange tint to the sky and the rest of the world outside of it. Or is it purpley blue? I forget. But the few missions that I had took me into direct conflict with one of the good side factions, the Sentinels of Magic, and they go around basically trying to help people who have been attacked by magic villains or like werewolves and vampires and stuff. And the first mission, the mission that I remember doing is you going around and killing them. Occasionally also, there around each city are dotted things that you can interact with. You'll find, I mean, we'll get there eventually when we're playing the game, but you can find people, you can find just street level criminals trying to break into people's apartments. You can find them trying to break into ATM AT machines, ATM ATMs. You can find villains running, very, very low-level villains running around fighting policemen. You can also find people standing on the roofs of buildings, right on the edge, obviously considering suicide. And if you're a hero, you can go up and talk them down, and they say, "Oh yes, I don't know what I was thinking. Thank you for stopping me," and then they disappear. But I have seen people on the villain side push them, which is definitely an extremely evil thing. Yeah, the Legion of Doom is lawful evil as a whole, even if some members aren't. Yeah. I couldn't remember. Is it Legion of Doom? I know that there's a variety of villain associations and alliances in, well, both in DC and in Marvel, and Legion of Doom actually sounds more like a Marvel thing to me. Not that I'm familiar with the name, so I suppose it could be. Anyway, coffin break. The Sovereign Sons be making their servitors, what you call the zombies. Now that you help me to take the antidote, you can take it to the Cypress Grove Cemetery and save some of them poor innocent souls. Destroy any voodoo coffins you find, and once you free the zombies inside, you got to attack it until it cowers from you. Then, only then can you hit them with the antidote. Okay, so we'll need to reduce their health. Probably lower than half, maybe down to a third. Let's leave. Yeah, DCUO has more than the Legion of Doom. They have Injustice Society and League of Shadows. Well, as I said, I've only really played hero side in DCUO. Haven't played villain very much. I think one of the other things I remember doing is certainly I remember seeing, so like in DCUO there are a lot more open world missions, so you'll be doing stuff out in the open, fighting a certain faction or certain villains' henchmen, and quite often that will be a location where people from the opposite faction can come and do basically the opposite thing. If you have Taffy Winter's torch, you can use it to burn the coffins. So, in one of the missions that you do in DCUO, you're trying to stop Trigon from bursting through into the Earth dimension and taking over the Earth. And there are a bunch of people who get possessed by some of his demons wandering around, and you've got to try and help them. One of the things that I've seen people playing as villains do is further the corruption of the people possessed, so that they actually turn into full demons and you can't save them. There's also locations where green and yellow lanterns are fighting one another, and you have to go in and I think kill, but definitely defeat yellow lanterns as a hero. And I've seen villains come in and defeat the green lanterns. Yeah, DCO has open world PvP in some missions. It's fun if you're evenly matched. You don't have to fight PvP in some missions, I don't think. I think you can choose whether or not you are PvP, and when missions bring both factions together because their objectives are in the same place, you can fight against the other people who turn up. But mostly what I found was irritating was if a very, very powerful player on the villain side just killed all of the objectives you were trying to complete, so that there were none left in the area, and you just couldn't finish the mission because they were being a griefing knobhead. That's not how I was supposed to do that, is it? Mambo. No, he's not one of the ones I can help. Okay. To be honest, I wasn't really paying very much attention when he was giving me the instructions. So what is it that I do? Is it break open coffins, weaken the zombie, and cure them? Okay, I can do that. Why is he climbing out of the earth? Wasn't he in the coffin? Out of range. That was a short range. He got bigger, and his hair regrew, and his clothes changed. But he still leaves green puffs when he walks. So he's probably still... Oh, he probably smells awful, doesn't he? I don't remember how much choice you had in City of Heroes, actually. As a hero player. Yeah, he definitely got bigger, didn't he? And filled out again. Now in Star Wars The Old Republic, you get a huge amount of choice. And as far as I can tell, there's no way of changing factions in SWTOR. So, but there is still a light dark meter on your character, info page, and you have a huge variety of choices in responding to people whilst you're doing missions. Usually you get 3 choices of varying, like... what's the word? Some of the choices you can come across as a real knobhead, and some of them you can be kind and gentle. And sometimes you get the choice between light side and dark side. Nice, mean, and neutral. Yeah, it's basically like that most of the time, but then sometimes you get a choice that actually changes your alignment. So you can become extremely light side or extremely dark side, like you can become full dark side. But you can't change faction. So you can be a Jedi and be an absolute knobhead and go full dark side, get as many dark side points as possible, but you are still considered Jedi. You can still considered light side. I don't know. I mean, I've not actually got a character past level 20 yet, so I don't know whether your alignment affects how people react to you. I kind of hope that it does, but it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't. Which I suppose means that as a Sith Empire player, you could be maximum light side and be as kind and generous as you could possibly manage. But I suppose you'd still be getting missions that put you in the position of doing evil things for the Empire. I don't know. I don't know whether I'll try making a character on the Empire side in SWTOR. I kind of just want to get through the story of one side, one character once, because there's affably evil is a thing in games and IRL. Yeah, I do quite like affably evil villains. The ones who seem to be enjoying themselves are more fun for me. But in SWOTOR, which is the way that fans and players of the game tend to abbreviate it, there's 8 playable classes on each faction, and functionally, in terms of the rules, they're perfectly equivalent. They're just called different things. Their powers have different names, and the animations look different, but functionally, for the damage that they do and the things that, like the damage that they reduce and the healing that they do and everything, they're perfectly equal. And they're arranged in pairs. So one pair is on the Republic side is you're a soldier for the Republic, and you're either a commando or like a heavy weapons guy, kind of. This is a gross oversimplification, so if you're already playing SWOTOR and you're listening to me talk about it and cringing, I apologise. I'm simplifying for people who don't play. Another of the pairs is you're basically a Han Solo, and the dichotomy is whether you're a gunslinger or is it I don't remember, an up-close kind of fist fighter type, or, well, an up-close shotgun user. You don't really use fists as one of the smuggler types. And the other two are 4 types of Jedi. One of the pairs is either single lightsaber or dual lightsabers. And the other choice is between using lots and lots of force powers at a range, or using a combination of force powers and a staff lightsaber, so like a double-ended lightsaber, like Darth Maul used. And each one feels different when you play it. So, but each pair of class sets have powers in common, so there are powers that both the smuggler and the scoundrel in the gunslinger and the scoundrel, sorry, in the smuggler pair of classes, some of them have shared. They have some shared powers, or some of their powers are shared, just like in the rest of them. I can't remember the names off the top of my head. I've only started playing like last week, and I haven't played every day, so like I'm not deep into the weeds of it or anything. But I've been really enjoying the choice, the range of choice in interacting with the missions and the story that you get. I know that other games do it. I know that, for example, Mass Effect gives you lots of choice over how you interact with no, stop that, no! Oh, Jesus. Don't know how I managed to get mixed up there. Oh well. But I've tried playing Mass Effect and I haven't enjoyed it at all, because I feel like it takes a long time to get ramped up into story in Mass Effect. Then in the end, Mass Effect story collapses into a singularity. Yes, I've heard extensive complaints about the ending of Mass Effect story. But what put me off was how slow it was to get going, and more than that, the combat system, because it had a target reticle for your gun, but where you placed the shot isn't where you necessarily hit. you could point at a person and aim carefully, and then it would select the person and give you a chance of hitting them. And it's like, either give me a reticle that I can fucking aim with, or let me choose an enemy and give me a chance of hitting. Don't give me both. Don't give me the illusion of allowing me to carefully shoot my opponent and then have me miss regardless of how I was aiming with the fucking reticle. Don't do that. It pisses me off. Like, I'm not ever going to claim to be a snapshot with first-person or third-person shooter games. Like, I'm not a super excellent twitchy shooter. I don't particularly enjoy first-person shooters either. I prefer third-person RPGs, as might be clear by my choice to play this rather than something else. But if you give me the option or the ability to aim down a gun with a reticle that I can point at an opponent, don't let me line up the shot and take it and then fucking miss because of some arbitrary bullshit internal mechanic. Unless what I'm playing is a Renaissance game and I'm using a smoothbore musket. In which case, yes, fair enough, I would understand if I was aiming this pipe at someone and having an explosion at one end and having the round shot that I'm launching at someone bounce around inside the barrel and then fucking fly off at 45 degrees. That I would be able to understand. But in Mass Effect, no. Fuck off. Do it like XCOM, or do it like any other first-person shooter. I enjoyed the biotic powers in MA3, but my enjoyment of the game was short-lived. Oh well, that's a shame. Hello, technical issues. This is a reference to the girl from The Ring? No, not Sammy's dolls. Screams in for Thessia. No, don't do this mission. Is this a mission where you have to go around finding lots of little dolls? This is a perk collecting mission. The voodoo dolls are hiding in different locations in Vibora Bay. Defeat the dolls to recover them for Sammy. Successful completion of this mission will earn the player the Voodoo Child perk. And I think I remember it being the case that the dolls are not always present. No, run away from this mission, please. They're randomly spawned in random locations and super time consuming. Yeah, I think I'm not going to do that. I will get some info on her. Sammy Croy is an odd little girl, even by Vibora Bay standards. She can usually be found playing with her dolls. She's got solid black eyes and a cloak, it looks like. Or is that a coat that she's wearing? Yeah, I don't usually drop missions or ignore them, but I'm definitely not going to do that. Because I think I remember trying to do it before, getting frustrated because it's enormously time consuming and dropping it. Because as both Ravenforce and Mohawkman have warned me, the dolls that she wants you to collect spawn randomly and at random times around the whole of Vibora Bay. So it doesn't have indicators like this for where to go to find the dolls, and where they show up changes, so even if you find a guide or a map online, it won't necessarily lead you to the correct place. One spawn location is easy to find. It's in the High Apostolic Church GY, but finding Brondal is easy. All of them? Good luck. Yeah, how many is it? It's like, is it 5 or 6 or 8 or something? The mission only gives you a perk, and the perk is Voodoo Child, which is obviously a reference to Jimi Hendrix. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on any story by ignoring the mission. And most accidentally. 6. I've found most of them before. I thought 7. Mostly accidentally. Might be 7, and I've only ever found 6. Oh, lore in the grave area. Perk, not lore. Perk in the grave area? What is it? Oh, there we go. So far away. So what am I doing here? Find the drop, follow the courier to the destination, or get the location from Ulfidnar. I think I remember trying to do this several times and getting really frustrated because you can only get so close, and you keep pulling enemies because they keep fucking around, spawning near you. And if you're not following her, if you're not close enough to be able to see her, she'll disappear. And if you get too close, she'll stop moving. So I think I've tried this a few times and given up and just gone and beaten up Ulfidnar because it's easier. Than trying to genuinely follow her. Does she just keep stopping? I thought it was because I was too close, but that can't be the case because I'm like 5 stories up. Keep going, you knobhead. I mean, I realise you are actually correct. There is someone following you, but you can't possibly see me. You can't possibly be reacting to anything that I do, because frequently I'm not doing anything. But obviously I wasn't quick enough to get in. Fucking found the place. Know where it is. Ugh. Fuck it, let's go and beat up some Ulfit now. Going to tell me how to find your boss, or am I going to beat the shit out of you? least there's plenty of them around. Even if they are a little bit of a pain to defeat. No, that's a berserker, that's not what I'm after. I mean, he might drop the thing I need, even though he's outside the area. Let's find out, shall we? No. I'm hungry like the wolf. Nice Duran Duran reference there. Look how old this werewolf is. You're after Ulfhednar, not berserkers. Yes, I am after Ulfhednar, but I thought maybe the berserker, because it's a similar model, might also count. Something similar has happened before elsewhere. Got lots of those. Oh, I only add one. Okay. I don't think I care about calling up a Dogs Gang War, do I? Courier drop location. Good. There we go. Found it last. Consumable you can use to summon friendly werewolves. Yeah, I know I've gotten start an X Gang War thing before, things before, so it's either been New Purple Gang or Red Banner, I think, maybe. I've gotten similar things before, I've just never bothered to use them because I don't know how useful they would actually be. So why? Why am I being directed to a different place to the one that I followed the courier to? More of a win more thing usually. Yeah. I suppose it's probably useful for if you're role-playing as like a gang leader or something. So you can like call your gang out. It's not quite as cool as being a City of Heroes mastermind whose mastermind power is to summon gang members. So mastermind in City of Heroes is a pet class. You kind of act as a tank through generating threat from your pets, because your main power set is a few attack powers and a bunch of summon powers and some powers that buff your summons. And your secondary power set is always a support set. Pets can do damage and some builds focus on pets. Yeah, I know that there's a pet. It's possible to build a pet build in this game, but that people don't usually bother because they're not so useful in endgame content. But in this, it's much less focused than in City of Heroes. And you have a huge variety, or a much larger variety, of summons in City of Heroes. So you can summon demons, ninja, undead, gang members, and robots. You can't summon them all at the same time. Pets can do damage, and some builds focus on pets. Cosmics shred pets. Yes, that's what I've heard. Cosmics and endgame fights against things like Kigatilic ruin pets in City of Hero Champions Online. One of my builds has a power to summon an angel to heal my allies and attack enemies. Yeah, I know that there are a bunch of pet summon powers in the game, just that pet builds aren't quite so great. Nightmare chickens have a big AoE that basically one-shots all pets. But in City of Heroes, pets are a viable class. You can play them at being a mastermind is playable at and functional at endgame level, just like playing Control is viable throughout the whole game in City of Heroes, and is viable at endgame. Some of them are huge power hogs. I don't remember. Are they called? Is the resource that they use for power use endurance, or is it energy? I forget. You have a blue bar under your health bar. I don't remember what it's called, but some of them are enormous resource hogs, and some of them work really well. Anyway, I just got a mission giver. That's a deeply unfortunate mission name, isn't it? Dog pounding. I know it's supposed to be evocative of something, you know, violent, or perhaps even a reference to dogs being at a pound, but there is also another interpretation. You've discovered hit orders from Dog's leader Guy Sweetland asking Thrakiel for assistance in murdering an ambitious werewolf named Black Fang. Black Fang has just recently come to Vibora Bay, but has quickly gained popularity and respect among the rank and file dogs. Sweetland fears he might make a play for his supernatural criminal empire. Of course, you know from your experiences in the Apocalypse that it is critical Black Fang does take charge of the dogs, and so you must warn him that Sweetland is in league with Thrakiel, and that Black Fang's life is in danger. Go to the Dog Pound Werewolf Bar where Black Fang is said to hang out, and speak to him in private to warn him. Black Fang cannot be seen talking to a hero, or he will lose alpha status, which, as we've discussed before, is a really stupid, inaccurate, like non-existent position for wolves. Like, being an alpha isn't something that a wolf is at all in nature. So you will need to take out other werewolf witnesses if you want an audience with Black Fang. Surely that raises more questions. Don't kink shame the devs. Kink shaming is my kink. It's not, but we're not here to discuss anybody's kinks, so we'll leave that subject alone. I will sometimes allude to it for comedy purposes, but we're not actually going to be discussing kinks during the stream. if for no other reason than I don't want to run afoul of Twitch's censorship and get my stream shut down. That just seems like a bad idea. This is an extraordinarily fancy cinema, isn't it? I sense the warm breath of light. Oh, it's not online. Oh, it's not up on the screen for long enough. Ah, she sleeps. I can hear the blood flowing in her veins. It calls to me. This is Nosferatu. Vampire, though you were once my beloved, I will not let you claim me. Back, back, find some prey before the dawning sun destroys you. Some other prey, sorry, I should say. I think it's the same thing over and over. So there's a Nosferatu-looking vampire creeping up some very crooked stairs. I sense the warm breath of life moving in my house. Who dares invade? I will see... That's not on for long enough. And then he's about to bite her. Ah, she sleeps. I can hear the blood flowing in her veins. It calls to me. Yeah, we've already seen that. And then she throws open the windows. So he spends long enough creeping up the stairs and considering biting her that it becomes dawn. Oh no, it doesn't. She still has enough time to get up and throw open the window and then convince him to leave. I will see and feed. Oh, okay. But so isn't he just said in his house, so she's entered his house and gone to sleep. I mean, apparently she was his beloved. And I realised that they had to cut it down for the ability to actually show anything on the screen, but it doesn't make very much sense. We can also see the projector that's actually projecting the film. I wonder why Nephilim are watching a vampire film. I've brought the serum from Sweetland. We lost much to do it. I'm not going to be able to read those quickly enough, so I'll just wait until it's over and then read them. I've brought the serum from Sweetland. We lost much of it to get to some costumed do-gooder, but there is enough left to begin creating an army of vampire-werewolf hybrids. The case containing the serum is with your guards in the ballroom. So let's do these guys in and go back to the ballroom and find the case. And as I recall, there are a selection of cases. You haven't won. Even now, Thrakiel's forces are retrieving the serum from the ballroom. Haha. Oh. No, I don't think that they are, you know. I beat up a bunch of dudes. Oh no, here we are. There's more. Okay. I suppose they might be searching for... the case in the ballroom. Ooh! There's a lore item that I hadn't noticed before. Oh! That's the serum. That's convenient. Oh. Oh, okay. Wrong case. Look for another. I'm surprised that there's even one here, though. I mean, it said ballroom, didn't it? Look at the pictures on the walls. Okay, I'll do that in a minute. Destroy serum. Is this the serum? No. That's probably a recreation of a Renaissance painting. That's the identical painting. Ah yes, that's someone's DeviantArt avatar. No paintings on the walls here. It's just a portrait. That's the same picture again, 4 times we've seen now. That's another portrait. Cool. Portraits. That could almost be Harry Potter. It just doesn't have the scar. Oh, the woman looks like the lady in the movie. Ah, okay. Interesting. I hadn't drawn that connection. So is this the serum? Why on earth would they bother having a variety of identical suitcases around the ballroom and the cinema room? I don't know that she does, you know. Any more than the fact that she's just got dark hair and dark lips. Where was it again? On the walls and the stills in the movie are probably by the same artist. Yeah, probably. It might just be they're drawn similar as a coincidence, yeah. Well, she's not wearing the same thing, but you wouldn't expect her to in a portrait. She's just got dark hair and dark lips, and you can't really see very much of her in the film. I mean, yes, it's a bigger image. But it's not as detailed, despite that. Why would you bother creating a small space here under the stairs unless you're deliberately creating a space for small children to hide? I suppose you might be doing if you've got enough money to make a house like this. You probably can expect to have small children running about in it occasionally. Small children like this, perhaps, who have been told they're not allowed to hide under the stairs anymore. They're too old for that. Go and wash your hands. It's dinner time. Why would they have, as I was asking before, why would they have bothered putting lots of different identical suitcases all around? If they were handing them over to a known ally and weren't expecting interruption by a superhero? This is a pattern in the wood. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh well, we're done now, so let's leave. And now clear out the dogs. Is this also the Happy Crab? Yeah. It seems like it's a chain restaurant, and they've got loads of locations around the same... Oh, this is where I'm supposed to be going. No, it isn't. Other side, I guess. Oh, here we are. Dog Pound. Because that's two I've seen today that I remember. They've got masses of them dotted around the city, I guess. Maybe the cases are just boxes the Nephilim used to store stuff and the Vargoth lady borrowed one of them. Maybe, but why would they... Oh, I suppose we're talking about Nephilim who aren't human. They're half demon, half angel, so I suppose they might well choose to do weird... Where's this light coming from? This isn't the orientation of the room that we just came in through. And the door's different as well, it's wider, so presumably we've gone through like an atrium. But still, where is the light coming from? That's an awful lot of light for the level of light we saw outside. Is this the band? It's very difficult controlling lightning inside of a chain link fence cage. Well, it's not really a cage, is it? It's just protection for the band in case someone decides to throw like bottles at them or something. Sam the bartender. It's nice that they've given some of them names at least. Did also notice that the bouncer there is Stefan Tiny the Grand. But Diane the bartender as well, cool. I really do not expect him to have unique info. No. They didn't go that far. You're going into the belly of the beast tonight, superhero, and I'm the beast. I don't think I am, you know. I think you're going to have a nap. Amazing, they've managed to phase through the door. That's a very big rat head, isn't it? Where on earth did it come from? There's a hammerhead shark head on the wall as well, and is that the head of hyena swine? And then a stag and a buffalo skull and a vulture head. So there aren't any living buffalo that we ever see in the game. Where a person gets chucked out of the wrestling ring because they have one of those. think it's a wild boar. I don't know that wild boar have spots, do they? Oops. Not in that pan, at least. That's more of a leopard. Or... well, no, it's not a giraffe spot pattern, is it? I suppose this could be in case someone gets thrown out of the wrestling ring, but... no, it's not a wrestling ring, is it? It's a dogfighting ring. It's the wrong shape for a wrestling ring. And I suppose someone could be thrown out of it, but they'd have to have been thrown pretty hard. Pigs can have spots, but that is a huge head. Well, I mean, it's a manimal head, not a vulture. Yeah, I was thinking that they were manimal heads, because there aren't props in the game for birds or rats, but there are props for bird manimals, rat manimals, carcharodons. There is even hyena swine, which is probably where that head is from, actually, and stag manimals, and they probably just blew those heads up and stuck them on the wall. In fact, it might be, because we can't see the other side of the wall at all, it might be that there's a whole body of a stag manimal behind there. Although in this case they can't possibly be... oh, there might... no, there wouldn't be. There can't possibly be a rat manimal back there. Anyway, we're here to beat this guy up. Oh no. Just talk to him. Odd that someone called Black Fang would have red fur. You'd think he would call himself Red Fang or something, which would be perfectly acceptable as a wolf name. Hold on, I want to be level with him. Well, that's good enough. I don't know why you're tipping me off about Sweetland technical issues, but I'm grateful. Sweetland is right to be nervous about me. I do plan on taking over the dogs, and knowing Sweetland is gunning for me is going to make it even more satisfying when I take control of his gang. Listen, hero, I'll give you directions on where you can find Sweetland, but this doesn't make us partners or anything. If you plan on taking it down Sweetland, you're going to have to do it without my help. Of course, if you do take Sweetland out of the picture, then that's another favour I'm going to owe you. I might even have to do you a favour sometime. Maybe the fresh meat is not cow. When you leave, check out the social zone version of Dog Pound. Okay. Yeah, I did notice that there was meat hanging on hooks. I wonder what it's supposed to be. I suppose it could be pork or beef. I'm impressed that he's managing to play that despite the massive claws he's got strapped to his wrist. But I'm even more impressed that this guy's playing... well, it's not drums, is it? It's playing on a bucket. I'm impressed that he's managing to get the sounds of a cymbal out of a bucket. And a snare drum. Fingering a sax with claws is also a neat trick. Yeah, I imagine so. What do you actually get here? Pain nullifier device. Equipping this device will prevent the use of vanity devices on you, as well as preventing you from using them. This device is always on while in your inventory. That might be worth getting. Oh, fun nullifier, not pain nullifier. I was like, what? There we go. I don't have to have it equipped, do I? I can just leave it in my inventory. I'll leave it here. It is. I have it on all characters. Well, almost all. Well, fair enough. Yes, of any character I can think of mine, technical issues is probably the one who would most want to have a fun nullifier. I know this is done by just slipping a building in between these buildings, but I like from a game developing perspective how it was done. But why would you in universe? Why would this be necessary? I mean, if you're connecting the two buildings up, this is probably enough. Or like if you're trying to connect up the two top pieces, you don't actually need a corner here. You could just go across here. Oh well, anyway. Let's go and beat up Guy Sweetland in his enormous restaurant. Laid out unlike any restaurant I've ever seen. Stops you from being able to earn certain perks though. Yeah, it messes up the roofline quite a lot. Yeah, it's some weird decisions made in the mashing together of buildings in this game. Are there any perks I might wander into, as opposed to ones I might try and deliberately get that the fun nullifier messes up? Because if I know that there's one coming up, I can... What would I even do? Can you disable the fun nullifier? Would you have to... put it in a bank account or something? Throw an item related perks. Oh well. Oh. Oops, hello. Cutscene. What's that, Timmy? There are heroes at the door. If Thrakiel wants to keep this partnership going, I want help taking these jokers out. You shall have reinforcements, Sweetland. Come forth, forces of Thrakiel, I summon thee. So this is the waiting area for the restaurant, I suppose, and the front desk where you can book in and so on. Then rather than leading straight into a place where you can eat, you go through a long series of corridor. I mean, I suppose that there are doorways here and they might lead to full rooms, but the doors are closed so we can't access those rooms, but it's still kind of odd. Here's one full eating room. Nice corner table. It's a real shame someone's going around wrecking all of his chairs, isn't it? This is the kitchen. Apparently the stream has frozen for Ravenforce, but is working for Marhawkman, so I assume that there's a problem on Ravenforce's end. My Twitch app isn't showing me any problem. Kitchen is here. get food from it to the customers, you have to go along through this section of corridor, which is quite a lot of corridor. I don't think this is a very well laid out restaurant. There's a double door here, but does it have a corresponding doorway inside the kitchen? No. That doorway leads to the back of some cookers. That's helpful. This is a kitchen fit to serve hundreds of people. It might be. There's a lot of cooking ranges, but there doesn't appear to be many places to keep ingredients. I mean, you've got plates, pots, pans, places to wash the aforementioned. These probably, some of these things on the sides might be fridges or freezers, but this is not enough food for an evening of feeding people at all. Not to mention, we have once again run into the mystery of doorways that lead nowhere. Which means that if you want to serve any food in here, like someone at a corner table, they have to take the food through several sections of corridor and then around and along, which means that by the time the food gets to one of these places, in fact the middle along here would probably be the most difficult place to get food to, wouldn't it? I don't think that there's... Oh no, there is a way through. Okay. You could haul the food along and over. The devs who made these made pretty maps, but obviously aren't architects. Yeah. I'm sure that there's a way to do both. There has to be a way to manage to create both functional game maps and functional interior spaces that people would actually use. I mean, you don't need to. I don't know that many people notice things like this, but it would make it more immersive to the people that do notice. It would make it feel more real. Not to mention, I mean, presumably some of these doorways that we have seen but can't get through lead to other rooms that have tables in them, like full spread. What would the word be? Commercial rooms like this. This is a lot of wasted space, isn't it? In the middle here. You could fit a lot more tables in, couldn't you? Wouldn't it be really lonely to sit at this one and just have this enormous space around you? One thing I heard is that the corridors are a way to bypass line of sight range limits, i.e. the original game version couldn't draw far enough to have decent render scale. Outside it's just blurry past a certain point, but indoors it apparently was an issue. That makes sense. Obviously the specs of the game have gotten better. But still, I mean, there aren't even any doorways off of the kitchen other than these two that you can actually use that could lead to, like, food storage. Because even in the small kitchen for the restaurant in Ratatouille, for example, it's got a huge walk-in larder and fridge, cooling unit for food ingredients, and that's just for the day. And they go through a huge amount of food. Oh, his name's not Timmy. That's a shame. I think you can see that Sweetland's suit is kind of bursting at the seams. Which means that it must be a unique suit. I wonder if it's available for players to have Sweetland's bursting at the seams suit. I think you can get his medallion. This enormous, garish. It's basically the sort of thing that a rapper would wear, isn't it? An enormously conspicuous indicator of wealth. Look at the edges of the MC map. Some of the buildings' placement are just... Why? I think so? Not sure. Yep, it is. So, it is a unique outfit, although the placement of the seam here... Oh no, is that... No, it's gone now. Oh no, hold on. Is that his underpants? I wonder why there'd be a seam here as well as on the side. Anyway, so is it available to players? Can you earn pieces of it or buy pieces? How was I... Don't kink shame. How was I kink shaming him? By asking if that was his underwear, visible through the seams. You can't earn it. That's cool. So for a character, if you've built a character who's supposed to be enormously muscly, it's really cool that you... Maybe he likes to be a tease. It's really cool that you can get a suit that looks like it's being destroyed by the huge muscles your character has. With Sweetland out of the way, Black Fang didn't waste any time in filling the void in leadership. Hopefully this means you've been able to eliminate the dogs as a source of power for Thrakiel. We just might have a chance of living through this thanks to you. Technical issues. Of serums and secrets. Knowing the serum has been destroyed is a load off my mind. And let me tell you, I've got enough to worry about. Let's hope Sweetland doesn't have any more stockpiled away. Mark their territory. I have met Taffy. I fought alongside her last time, Monday or perhaps Friday. Last time or the time before, I don't remember. I probably should go back and check and see whether she's got missions for me, actually. We need to soften up the supernatural small fry in Vibora if we plan to take down Thrakiel. I've made sure... I'm sure you could beat them all up one by one, but let's work smarter, not harder. We're going to start a turf war between the dogs and the Sovereign Sons. It shouldn't be hard. The dogs' canine brains are already hardwired for territorial aggression. They're just waiting for something to set them off. Something like finding a bunch of Sovereign Sons voodoo drapes. That says drapos. Drapes hanging in dogs' territory, for instance. Which is another terrible idea. I don't know why both Caliburn and Black Mask think that starting gang wars is a good idea. Although I suppose in Caliburn's case... he's a mage, not a superhero or crime fighter. He fights supernatural crime, which has very different causes than street crime. But you would think that Black Mask would know better than to try and start a gang fight. Her torch item is a unique thing and fun to use. It's coded as a weapon, but does so little damage it's only useful to light debris objects on fire, like coffins. Ah, okay. Okay, smoking a pack a day. Ah yes, that's repeatable mission, isn't it? Trismewotsits, Theohuzits. The Trismegistus Council was formed to combat the Circle of the Scarlet Moon, but the members of the council here in Vibora have also proved staunch allies against Thrakiel and his minions. One such member, Theomistocles Venedictus, has sent me an urgent request for help. I think we met him during the apocalypse. Did you check out the table? It has a map of Vibora, maybe. I haven't checked out the table. I'll have a look in a moment. Thrakiel has unleashed his attack dogs, the Trey Kings, against the council to retaliate for the assistance they have rendered myself and Caliburn. The council building itself is under frequent attack. The need to defend their stronghold has hampered the council's ability to attend to other matters. This is where you come in. Talk to Theomistocles and he can give you more details. You can find him on the front balcony of the Trismegistus Council building. You can use the front door to gain access to the balcony. I've already met him and done his missions. Although he might have more, I suppose. Is this... Oh yeah, it is. Ibora Bay, and then this is the area that you... I think you can probably get out to Bunker, Rock Hill... No, you're probably limited to this area, aren't you? Or even a smaller area. Laguna Beach, Panama City Beach, Bitmore Beach, Panama City, Bayview, Freeport, Grayton Beach, Rock Hill, Bruce. So I presume if you know where Panama City is in the real world, assuming that Panama City is also a real place and not a made-up place, you could probably find out where Vibora Bay is supposed to be. One is the in-game map, another the TTRPG map. The other is apparently a real-world map of a real place that inspired it. The playable area is a small part of Vibora. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I know that... This is probably a real-world map, isn't it? Cool, I didn't know that was there. Thank you. Let's go and hand that mission in. Oh yeah, let's first go and see if Taffy has any more missions for me. She's here, isn't she? Don't know why they decided to put her inside. Oh no, here, isn't it? Put some fun details in the game. think I checked and that she doesn't have any more missions for me. No. But apparently I can pick up the torch and use it as a weapon. Don't know what costume pieces those are. I think this top is chainmail. It's just coloured all white. That's the luchador. You can't really see. I think this collar is the luchador collar. So this is presumably a unique chest cover item. This looks a bit like a corset chest piece. And that's presumably just attached. It looks a little bit like the poofy shirt. Upper torso, but not quite. Let's go to Theomistocles, and we'll probably just we'll hop on the old jet bike. Get there a bit more quickly. But I'm pretty sure that I've done all the missions for him. I mean, other than King's Throng, which I can't complete. Welcome to the Trismegistus Council. I only wish we could offer more hospitality. I'm glad you have come, however. There is much to do. Oh, there is one. Cool. Princes of the Kings. Torch is fun because you can recolor the flame it uses, and when you light things on fire, it uses custom flame color. Ah, cool. I wonder what it is about the sewers that so draws the Trey Kings. Well, they're pieces of trash, and the sewer is usually full of, well, not trash, but human waste. The Trey Kings are human waste, and so is what you find in sewers. Recently, they've been seen carrying artifacts down there, kidnapping civilians, and who knows what else. I think it's time to put a stop to that. Head into the sewers and look for the manipulators. They're what passes for leaders among the Trey Kings. Defeat as many manipulators as you can, and while you're at it, defeat their minions too. Is that a repeatable one? Oh no, the other one that I did, I'm remembering, was for defeating immortals of the New Shadows, so that's a completely different mission. They are pieces of trash. Simple explanation is most likely. Yeah. Well, yeah, I realised that you don't actually usually find trash in sewers, because trash should be in recycling or, I suppose, landfill. So human garbage or human waste. It's probably a better succinct description and explanation for why the Trey Kings are in the sewers. Oh yes, we've already heard that spiel. You're doing good work, hero. You saved a bunch of them people from being turned into zombies, and that's something to be happy about. Now get out of here, you're scaring off my paying customers. Servants and the main lower. Now is the time that we put another nail in the coffin of the Sovereign Sons and they living dead. A Sovereign Sons voodoo chieftain by the name of Baron Cemetery, which is a bit on the nose, is in charge of creating this army of the living dead. You need to go to his crypt and defeat him, but there be many Sovereign Sons in there protecting him, so watch your back. The entrance to Baron Cemetery's crypt is located in the eastern side of the Cypress Grove Cemetery. Okie dokie. I suppose we'll do that one next time. What a grand entrance it is. They're pretending not to have noticed me, which is fine. Why would they name a mob type after a dance? Did they get confused between Mambo and Mamba? Because Mambo is dance, and Mamba is a type of snake. I didn't manage to hit any of them. That was annoying. Makes me wonder what Bokor means. I think that is actually a rank in Vodun, in the Vodun religion. I can look it up, I suppose. A Bokor, male, or Kaplata, female, is a Vodou witch for hire who is said to have served the lower with both hands, practicing for both good and evil. The with both hands is in quotation marks. Their black magic includes the creation of zombies and the creation of oangas, talismans that house spirits. So yes, it's a rank. So Kaplata is the female equivalent, so why they don't call the female members Kaplata, I don't know. I mean, Botono. Let's look up what Botono means. Is a song by Ted Detman, apparently. It's a Spanish word, first person singular, present indicative term of botonar, which means to button or to bud. Botono means bud. A weird choice of name. Especially when there is an equivalent female term. I mean, they're presumably supposed to be equal in rank because they're male and female equivalents of one another. So having the Botono be villains and the Bokor being henchmen would perhaps be a little odd, but it would make a bit more sense. Thought I had her selected. Oh well. I was going to hit her with Geiger Bolt. See if I could take her out more quickly. Prevent her from knocking me out of travel mode. Set the drum on fire. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't do very much damage, does it? Seems to have done 9 damage. Oh well. How did I manage to pull these guys? Oh well. Doesn't matter particularly. Pieces of fallen pillar, but there is no other evidence. Oh no, there's a piece of pillar here, pieces of pillar here. So what, all of the pillars have fallen over and been cleared out, and there's absolutely no evidence on the ceiling that there were pillars anywhere. What a weird decision. Nicked his key. No, you can't even block it by, oh, stop it from happening by blocking. Is there ever much point in taking nailed to the ground, unless you're planning on playing PvP? I know that it's an advantage that a lot of powers have, that removes travel powers and locks them out, but for a few seconds. But is that actually useful very much? Because it doesn't seem to be applicable to many enemies that I've faced so far. I mean, maybe it's something that you'd find if you were fighting Cosmics. But, I mean, I haven't played any Cosmics, so I wouldn't know. I am the keeper of the gate. I see you have the key, but you not be the key master. To get through this door, you must defeat me. Yes. A reference to someone being the key master, and there are 2 dogs. That's Ice Demon. Unfortunately, they're not called Gozer or Vin's Clotho. Only for flying enemies you can't reach. Very few enemies can actually be hurt with nailed to the ground. Certain specific scenarios have special reasons, but out of the ordinary. Not Cosmics. Cosmics don't use travel powers. Fair enough. I mean, I suppose there might be an occasion where you're fighting on Monster Island over some lava, and an enemy that you're fighting can fly, and if you turn off their flight power, they'd fall in the lava and die, which would be amusing, but...
Hero, why you be fighting your way through my grid? You not be wanted here. You been fighting my army, and now you face me. Too bad you not be standing a chance against me. Come up here and be joining my army of the undead.
Wild that he's got voice lines, but nobody else, like Guy Sweetland, had any voice lines. He's also got his coat up over his head. The entire Kigatilic fight is a reference to Gozer. Cool. I think there have been other references to Ghostbusters as well. There was a reference to the guy who built the building that Dana and Lewis live in the first Ghostbusters. Way earlier in one of the West Side missions, in one of the missions that happens in the West Side arc in Millennium City. The mission with Franklin Stone has enemies you can kill with nail to the ground, but it doesn't work on stone, so it's meh there. Maybe it was added with the intention that there would be more enemies that it would be useful against, but they never got to it before, I don't know, Cryptic... Stop fucking... I don't know why the game keeps getting stuck on, specifically, Lightning Storm. I mean, I do use Lightning Storm more than most other powers, but I don't know why it keeps sticking the power on for maximum maintain length. So he was warning me that I wasn't wanted here, which does not surprise me. Why is it that the people cannot see my vision? I don't know. Maybe it's that they don't. It's not that they don't see your vision; they just don't agree with it because you're kind of a knobhead. Where was his speech anyway? Barren Cemetery. You've been fighting my army, and now you face me. Too bad you not be standing a chance against me. Come up here and be joining the army of the undead. Well, let's just see who stands a chance against who, shall we? I've got a feeling that it's not going to go the way that you think it will. Does he have any unique info? He is the leader of the street gang known as the Sovereign Sons, a voodoo priest in his own right and a very dangerous man. He uses his power to strengthen the Sons, expand their ranks, some whisper, with his sons, expanding their ranks, some whisper, with his zombie servants. With what few know is that he has become little more than a shell for the lower, powerful spirits who ride him. Soon the whole world will be under my control. Unlikely. I forgot to read Sweetland's info. That's a shame. Probably mostly a PvP thing, simply because of how rarely enemies use travel powers. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, as I said, other than using nail to the ground in PvP, I couldn't think really of an occasion when you would want to use it. I don't think it's me that needs to worry about leaving the crypt alive. Did I just get any question out? I don't know, maybe not. My chat has been disconnecting occasionally, so if you've been saying things to me and I haven't been responding, I apologise. But at least on the tablet and directly in front of me, the chat is more stable than... Oh, here. Stuck traffic again. And a tram car that stopped as well. At least on... at least here on the tablet, it's more reliable than the chat on my phone had been being. Simi dropped a question at box. Yeah, okay, I thought it was. Good work. Technical issues with Baron Cemetery down. I mean, it's probably supposed to be pronounced slightly differently. Like it's a French word. It's probably supposed to be pronounced with a French accent, I guess, but I can't be bothered doing that. With Baron Cemetery down for the count, there's no one to keep making this army of the living dead. I hope we have seen the last of him. So this is actually T-H-E, the, but here the same word is spelled D-E. I don't know why. Sometime when you drive out one bad spirit, a worse one takes its place. Looks like Vibora be safer than it was, at least until something else be threatening to destroy the world. Cajun French accent, yeah. I don't really know what that's supposed to sound like. The only Cajun French accent I've really heard very much of is probably Gambit from the X-Men, and I don't think that he's a good example of it necessarily. So I'm not going to attempt to copy that accent. Which is probably for the best. So I'm looking for drapes. Ah, here we are. Here's one. Oh, it's called a Drapo apparently, and that wasn't a typo. Voodoo Drapo. Okay. Or Drapo? Maybe? Well, no, that would be a double P, wouldn't it? Very convenient for me that there's 2 here. How many do I need? I mean, how many do I have? 4. Do they go in stacks of 3? That's weird. Here's another one. Yeah, apparently they go in stacks of 3 for some reason. Which means after this I still need to find one more. Aha! Now let us go and start, or attempt to start, our incredibly ill-advised Dogs on Sovereign Sons gang war. Just like we started the ill-advised New Shadows on Sovereign Sons gang war. I mean, I suppose that there was already a gang war between the Dogs and the New Shadows, so we're just kind of getting 3 of the 4 major gangs at each other's throats. By changing the leadership of the Dogs, we've got them and the New Shadows, who are already against Thorakiel, working towards, when necessary, fighting Thorakiel. We're unlikely, I think, to get the Trade Kings to turn on Thorakiel. Exceedingly unlikely. And the Sovereign Sons, well, we've just defeated Baron Cemetery, so they're apparently not supposed to be a going concern very much anymore. I guess they couldn't think of a way to get Cemetery or one of his lieutenants to turn on Thorakiel. Oh. Got a piece of post. Sapphire, I need your help. Technical issues. I'm having some issues right now with a stalker sending me emails that I'm not comfortable with at all. I would take care of this myself, but with my upcoming tour I am booked solid with interviews and press coverage. Could you do me a favor and take this visitor pass and come to the TV studio? I want you to take a look at the mail and see if you can do anything about it. Thanks, Sapphire. I can't take that because this is just the message. I would need to go to an Until terminal to actually be able to pick up the object, so I'll do that. Oh, it's 11:10. How did it get to that time? How many more do I need to do? I still need to do 3 more. Right, I'll do this mission, and that'll be it for today, I think. Where are there some more places to hang? Ah, here we are. Probably going to have pulled their attention. Oh, maybe not. Nice. So that's 5. Still need 2 more. These things are bloody difficult to find. one that I've already done. Oh, there's one. I'm not going to be able to place it whilst these guys are attacking me, so I should probably deal with them. Stop bothering me. I've got a gang war to start. Cemetery is basically Thrakiel's pawn. That mission is fun. Voodoo doll. That glowing green thing is one of Sammy's dolls. What glowing green thing? I've probably way gone past whenever it was that you saw it. But even if I had known what it was and picked it up, or tried to pick it up, I wouldn't have been able to because I don't have the mission. In one of the alleyways. Okay, well, I'll take your word for it. Oh, this thing. Okay, well, if anyone's watching and particularly wants April, one of Sammy's dolls, this is where it is. May have despawned by now. No, it's still here. Next to the dog pound, just over. That's what they look like. Still, as I said, I'm not doing that mission because there's 6 or 7 of them to find, and why would I kill it? I probably can't pick up the thing once it's done anyway, once I've defeated it anyway. I've got resources and arcade tokens. Okay, anyway. That's it for today, I think. Thank you for watching. Tokens for perk, okay. That will do it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. And I will see you next time, which currently will be Friday. If you're watching this on YouTube, who knows? Go to the arcade by the docks. It's called a creepy perk for a reason. Okay. I'll be back again 8 PM GMT. And whether I see you then or not, I hope you have a nice time until I do see you again. Goodbye.